Feels good to be me. Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, and I always know that I'm always me. Feels good to be.
That's how we're leading it.
Great set
She
though.
used to get
Every
me
fucking
fucked
time, like
up.
I would kill, but I would be like, "Bitch, what happened?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it. Here's another shot." And I was like, "All right." Like, we turned up.
It's hard to say no to people there too.
She
You
was
can't.
working.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is so okay, and we're live. Yeah, welcome to No Pill Friday. Basically an ADHD podcast where I don't take my ADHD pill, but I went on a run this morning, so I'm a little bit tamed. Yeah, it's a little bit, it tamed me down. And I've got one of the best guests. She's a hilarious comedian. I love her so much. It's Fatimah Taliah. Did I say your last name right?
Yes,
Taliah.
It's my middle name, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What's your last name?
Quahar.
Wait, that's beautiful. Quahar?
It's very Arabic.
Yeah.
So I dropped that because when you would Google me, strange things would pop up.
Oh God, that's
from just that name being too Arabic. So I just went with my first and my middle.
Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, you Google me, it's me and a zookeeper. There's a zookeeper with the same
better.
name. They love animals.
Mine was always something deep, like queen of this, and then they murdered this person. And you'd be like, okay, let me just.
Like, hear about Fatimah just out there murdering people.
So let's tone it down. Let's water it down and give us Fatimah Taliah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful name. It's good. It's a great stage name.
Thank
It's
you.
just good. It's your real
My
name.
dad named me. Yeah.
He did?
He did.
Hell yeah. I don't even know what parent named me.
Okay. My dad would always say that.
Okay.
Because he would take the compliment when people would be like, "Oh, that's a beautiful name." He'd be like, "Yeah, I named her."
Oh,
like he would always do that when I was a kid. So that's how I know.
know.
That's how I know. Yes.
I think I was named after Audrey Hepburn. That's all.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, she died around the same time I was born.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Do you look into that kind of stuff?
Yeah, okay, so we were talking about this earlier. Jeffrey Dahmer and I have the same birthday.
Really?
The exact same birthday. We were
Oh my God,
born
I
around
just
the same
realized
time.
that's wild. You're Gemini? Oh, we did learn this. We learned this.
Yeah,
we learned
we
this.
also Wolf in the corner be like, nah, I could see it.
I can't see it.
Me, Biggie Smalls, and Jeffrey Dahmer. All around the same time and the same day.
I guess.
Somebody,
I mean, I don't know.
somebody was like, you should
I
get
don't really know too many Geminis as murderers. That's the first. I was actually shocked that he was a Gemini. I thought he was maybe a Scorpio or a Cancer because they definitely kill people in my book.
Well, May 21st, they say last day Taurus, first day Gemini.
Oh, really? I could see a Taurus.
Yeah, I could see.
Yeah.
I could see.
I have a best friend as a Taurus, and I'm always like, everything okay?
Yeah. You're like,
Is everything all right? Is she okay? She alive? No, I don't know. I usually get along with Geminis really well.
Yeah, because you are an
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Wait, the Geminis and Aquarius, what are the most compatible signs?
They're compatible signs, and they're usually like the best of friends.
Okay, I love that.
Because we fucking turn up.
Yeah, we turn up
together.
And we're pure.
I'm probably the one being like, hey, don't kill him now. Let's wait it out.
Let's wait till we have fun at this Dave
and
and
see
Buster's.
if they deserve it. I have the voice of reason.
Yeah, I love that. But you said, we were talking about earlier before the pod, so the Jeffrey Dahmer show is a hit right now on Netflix.
It's a huge hit.
And I had to stop watching it as well. I was getting nightmares.
I got nightmares the first episode and a half. And I'm more of an empath, so I was like, it was just too much.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't. And the nightmares, like, it made me too weird. Literally leaving my apartment, I was like looking at my neighbors like, like everyone's a suspect. Like,
it's also like, it's one of those classic things you watch. It's so infuriating. You're like, how did this woman reported him in the smell so much? That boy who ran out of there already drugged.
Sad.
And they were like, that woman was like, he's a baby boy.
Yeah.
And they showed an actual phone call of the police not listening to her.
Yeah.
That was
super sad because, you know, for me watching it was not saying it was clarification because we all are aware of that, but it was more of a like, they keep showing us in this society how much the law enforcement does not care about minorities.
No.
And to throw it on top of that, like a lot of the ways that he got out of it, he would tell the police, oh yeah, they're gay. And they would be like, cool, we're done.
He was
Like
I'm gonna
I
take
would
a
be
shower.
like, oh my God. Like
it
was, that part was really sad. And I mean, I think the neighborhood that he was in, unfortunately, played a big part in that.
Do you think that's why he chose? I haven't watched all the way through. Is that why he chose as victims?
Sure.
Like because
he never like. Of course, everybody did research after you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
Google. Like
Yeah.
he never really said why or what. I think there was just an obsession and it was just easier where he was because he didn't have a lot of money. Like his parents weren't rich. He was always losing jobs. So in order for him to live on his own, he probably could only afford to live.
Do you believe that that's like it always is from the parents? You think that that's how you stem like, or do you think he already had he was born a serial killer? I love how this is like supposed to be a fun ADHD podcast and we started, but I love it.
He said in an interview that he thinks he was born that way. It could have been. I mean, there's certain genes. The dad did admit in the show. He's like, I saw in clips because TikTok is showing all of it. I'm like, I don't want to watch it. They're like, bitch, you go watch it.
Oh yeah. You can't escape it.
But his dad said that he had those feelings, and he, that's why they had that connection of like roadkill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it was in his genes at some point, and they just didn't nurture him enough to like make him feel loved enough.
I know that was crazy.
Some people take shit really far. I'm learning that in life.
Yeah.
I'm learning that in the comedy community.
Oh,
because you have a few where you're like, oh, this person is really this way, or one time they're nice and one time they're not, and you're like, oh, they took that one day I was too high and didn't talk as I don't like them now, and now they don't want to like. So I'm learning
so personal. The huge yeah. I'm learning a lot too.
We're the most sensitive, like. I guess in the creatives.
Oh, so sensitive. Sometimes I'm shocked that I'm able to even do this as a career path.
That's our superpower, that we can go on stage and be that, like, not give a fuck and say.
Yeah.
And then get off and be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever. That was whatever.
That's like kind of.
But sometimes in the scene, I'm shocked because I know you can relate. Like, we're like good, fun people that are nice. And sometimes it's hard because I am sensitive. And some people are literally like, I've learned with some comedians, I'm like, I can't take anything they say to heart.
No, you can't take anything that any of them say to heart.
And I'm like,
there's things that I've had comics say directly to my face, but I'm like, he didn't think that through. But it's fine. Yeah. But I mean, I've gotten better this year to where my level of confidence is in a different place. Yeah. So when people say certain things, I'm just like, it's washed over, kind of like, anyway, like.
And that's the best. And then, and by doing that, you also find the people that are fun. And
yes.
Like, yes.
Your circle.
Yes, your circle.
Your group, yes.
Yes, your group. Yeah. And I feel like I'm just kind of spazzing out and floating around.
I was going to say before you were saying something, you were talking about your birthday and Jeffrey Dahmer. I looked up his Wikipedia, and on my birthday was the day he was convicted.
Wait.
February 17th, 1991, I believe.
Okay, that's powerful.
And I was like, ooh. At the same time, I was like, no.
Yeah, my day was
I was like, why is there connections? But I do that. I was going to say, I do that. Like, I look at, like,
I like that,
connections of things, and you're like.
Do you believe that then if you were in a relationship where it would say your signs weren't compatible, that you shouldn't be in that relationship?
I don't know. I'm starting to believe that shit's kind of true.
Because you're in a relationship with.
I am right now.
And he's hot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lots of pictures.
He's
a
Libra.
I'm not Googling him.
They're supposed to be our other, like, air signs usually get along very well together.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my, like, I don't know if I believe that all the way with zodiac signs.
Yeah.
But I've had my few where you're like, never again, bitch.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, if someone says they're a Cancer to me, it's like, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that's so funny.
No, not for me.
Yeah.
And OJ's a Cancer. I thought that this guy
OJ Simpson's a Cancer?
Yes. I think Cancers are murderers. And Scorpios.
I could see it.
So
Scorpios are for sure.
Yes.
My friends that are Scorpios, I'm like, listen, and I'm not even a what's it called? A constellation gal. But that
I thought he was definitely going to be like a Cancer or a Scorpio. Mm-hmm. A Gemini? I was like, they usually don't give a fuck.
Geminis are fun.
A good time.
Yeah.
I could see him maybe maybe a sex offender. I'll let him have that.
Yeah.
But kill
June Geminis are getting a little unhinged.
I mean, Kanye's a Gemini. He's not.
He's a June Gemini.
He made a song about killing Pete Davidson. He didn't actually kill him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
you can be creative about it without actually doing it.
Now, you know, this guy, I don't know. This shit's wild, though. I can't get through it. I will never finish it. And I am shocked that Netflix has something this graphic.
Oh, I know.
I'm shocked.
The guy who does it, he does the American Horror Stories, right? He's got that mind.
Oh, that explains that.
He does all. So he's a prime example of Ryan Murphy.
Okay, they did say that. I didn't know who that was at first.
He's probably a serial killer, but instead of killing, he makes art that reflects.
Jesus.
Yeah. 100%.
It's edgy.
Because every one of his shows and movies are the most gory, graphic.
I've never seen. Maybe I have, and I just don't know who he is.
I used to not get nightmares at all because I love scary stuff, but
I can't.
We're drawing a line. Now all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know if it's because of.
Immediately watching this, I'm like, you should have been dead a couple times already.
Oh.
I was like, you've done some wild shit in your day.
Yeah, I want to hear one of those wild shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, tell me one.
And then I like go down this rabbit hole of being like, well, why did these people do this, right?
Yeah.
Why did they make this choice? And I'm like, oh my God, my time in LA, I realized I learned this. When you're in a vulnerable state,
yes,
whether you're in a breakup or you don't have money or there's maybe you don't have a connection with your family, there's going to be someone that's going to play up on that.
Yeah.
He was incredible at playing up on the poor, the ran away.
Yeah.
There was always something that like, and I had moments like that.
Yeah.
When I had like a really big breakup back in 2018, I had a broken engagement. I was like really sad.
Yeah.
And like I was just crazily free doing things. It was like no second thought in it.
Yeah.
I met this guy. I don't remember what dating app it was. It was like Tinder or fucking Bumble or some shit. And we dated like for like not even that long, probably like a couple weeks. He was cool. He was rich as fuck. I was like, I don't want to give it away, but he worked. It doesn't matter.
Give it away.
He worked for PlayStation. He created video games.
Wait, that's sick.
And so he created this really dark video game. Oh. It was called The Last of Us. And it's like a game where they like kill people and shit.
So he's also a serial killer, but puts it in his game.
Gets into the story, bitch. So he goes, let's go to Palm Springs. My friends have this really great house. Let's spend a weekend and like hang out in Palm Springs. And like I'm edgy at this time. I'm like, bitch, we outside. Fuck it. Like so I went because I was like broken from the breakup. So I'm like, just live. Life is weird. So I went. So we go to this place in Palm Springs. Beautiful house. I mean, by the way, I don't know who his friends were, but the house was insane.
Love that.
I mean, it looked like I left the planet. Like the house was on the edge of these mountains and there was nothing, phones didn't work, whole thing was just already screaming murder. Oh. So immediately when I get there, I'm like, you gotta drop a pin, bitch. Even if they get you, you gotta let everybody know where your remains are. So I drop a pin, cut to a long story short, as the night goes on, only women show up. No other guy friends, only women show up. And when they get there, they like, you were chosen. This no fucking lie. No. They tell me that I was chosen and that they knew all these things about me and like
what?
I was supposed to be sacrificed, I guess, because they were all like premature witches.
Wait, whoa.
True story.
Wait,
crazy.
Wait, I didn't know it was gonna get to that.
Oh, it's bananas. I lived.
Wait, you gotta
crazy as fuck.
Rewind. Mm-hmm. Fucking there's the okay.
One of the girls told me verbatim. Now, at this point, I knew something was off, so I was like, I knew I was sober because I was like, shit ain't adding up. Bitch, gotta stop smoking, drinking. I got to hit this water. So one of the girls was like, I forget how she said it, but she had said something about, do I want to go? Because it was weird. They had like on the location, there was like this other building. And it looked like a small church or some shit. And the guy that like owned it was a weird old white guy. And they were like, you want to go to the church? And I was like, it's dark outside. And they were like, well, what about the attic? And I was like, huh?
Wait,
so like at this point as a comic, I'm just like, wow, y'all, wow. Like I'm hella joking and shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, blah, blah, blah. Cut to a shorter story. A bitch had to escape and run to another part of the house. And I locked myself in there until morning. And then I had to call an Uber from all the way
Wait, are you kidding?
all the way in Palm fucking Springs, the most expensive Uber I've ever spent in my life. And I told the Uber driver on the way back, and he was like, bitch, if you a comic, you better do it.
Oh, you have to. Do you talk about it?
And I was like, no, because I was like so freaked the fuck out that I was like, I don't even find jokes in this.
Did you report them?
Okay, this is crazy. Everybody blocked me on Instagram.
Fatimah,
so I couldn't find any of them, but this is the tea. This is the funny part. Since watching the Dahmer thing, I went back to search. Because I was like watching this shit like, bitch, you are a victim that made it. We got to check and see if other hoes didn't make it. So, because they got scared of me because I was like telling hella jokes. And then I like, when I felt threatened, I bossed up to the point where I think everyone was like, this ain't going to be the type of kill that we thought somebody ain't going to make it. Because she seen the south side of me came out so quick that they was like, and I just like left. But I looked. I looked for him because I was like, okay, I started thinking to myself while I was watching Dahmer, I'm like, we've had messages before. And I'm like, and even if I think they block you, you could still find the messages won't say the person's name.
Yeah.
So I did that and I found it. And his page was back. And I saw it. And I also found one of the other girls that was there. Because I did a lot of like searching.
No, you should have. Yeah.
But I can't find the other two because I don't remember their names.
Because they're dead.
Well, I don't know. It was bizarre. But I will, to make a long story short, too, one of the girls that was there that was with him was an ex-girlfriend of his. So I don't know what the fuck they were.
Wait, this is so.
But I made it, bitch.
You made it. Were you terrified when you locked yourself into the?
Well, at that point, that room was off in a cuss. So I had like a phone and I was able to talk to people. And like a lot of my friends was like, "Do you want us to pull up?" It was like bananas.
That's so. And did you
and maybe they heard me, so maybe they were like, "Oh shit, this is another level."
Yeah.
But I couldn't even tell anybody where the fuck I was. And when I would drop a pin, my friends would be like, "Bitch, where did they take you?
Yeah,
you're surrounded in mountains."
You know what I am also thinking?
There's nothing around.
I'm also thinking, and I hate that my mind's going like trafficking.
It could have been.
He sounds a little bit trafficky.
I mean, I looked at his page. He looks like a psychopath. I was like, what did you see in this? What was happening? And then I was like, see, dollar signs got your ass.
Was it like all attractive women too?
He didn't have any women on his page anymore. It was just like.
But at the house.
They were.
Yes. So
they were.
That sounds like you could have been trafficked.
They were. I don't really know what happened to the other girls. They were all different. They were all there. But I think they were all a part of it.
Fatimah.
I don't think they were like.
That is so nuts. And he runs a video game. That is.
I looked on his page. I don't think he does that anymore, but he works somewhere else now. Maybe they blocked it for the time period. They're going to watch this and be like, she knows.
I hope somebody.
One of the girls was a comic, though. I don't know her, but I went through the page and I remember her. And I looked and I was
she's like in on it and she's secretly trying to get all.
She's bizarre though. On her comedian page, it was just like blood was all over her face. She was talking about witches and shit. I was like, that was definitely her. I just don't know her.
Okay, I'm gonna figure out who it is after the pod.
Out. But yeah, I told myself like, if you ever run into her again, I'm like, girl, do you remember that? Remember that one weekend? Remember the one victim that got away? But that shit happened, and like I literally nuts. It was bananas.
That's
fucking
Fatimah.
bonkers.
That honestly, I think this is the best story I've heard on any of the pods because that was
true story, bitch. Crazy.
Yeah, I love how the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary
got me to go back and be like,
did
you just almost get murdered? Yeah, because you almost got murdered. And it was wild because people like my really close friends and family members were like we never talked about it again. But when I was there, everyone was just like, that was crazy. And when I made it back home, everyone was like, what the fuck? Like never. And they all literally just disappeared though. They had all like. When we were there partying and shit, they was like, oh, Instagram following. When I got home, none of those accounts existed.
That is
so when I found his recently, his name is different when I found it.
You were definitely in danger because
I was definitely in danger.
He was going to traffic you. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or sacrifice you.
They definitely were into like witchcraft or some shit.
The fact that they're going to sacrifice
I'm not sure what kind of sacrifice.
This sounds like a story, that I heard on, have you ever heard of Radio Rental?
No.
It's like Dwight from The Office. He puts on this character where he works at an old VHS and he pretends to play. He's like Malachi. So him and his cat Malachi will like put on an old movie in the back of the store, and it'll be somebody actually coming on and telling us a near-death encounter they had, and somebody's was similar to that, and then they were about to get. They thought they were going to get sacrificed, and they ended up jumping out a window and running. But that yours kind of sounds. And they said when they went back, everybody had blocked them.
True story. That next morning, when I woke up, the Uber driver, by the way, this is even crazier.
If I was picking you up, I'd be terrified for you.
They couldn't really. I had to like run to this gate and go because the Uber driver was like, "How do I get in? It's just a dirt road." And I was like, "Just don't leave." And so when I woke up, some people were awake. I don't know where he was, but the one girl that was like the ringleader was like, good morning, all crazy and shit. And I was like, whatever, bitch, because I was on 10. I was like,
yeah, fuck yeah.
At this point, I was on 10.
Whatever, bitch.
I was like ready for war. And she played the role of being like, I was the crazy bitch. She was like, wow, I have some sage burning. I don't know what got into you last night. And I was like, bitch, you lucky it wasn't me. And she was just like, I don't know what that means. We have breakfast. Like, they were all playing this. And I was like, no, my car. And she was like, oh, do you want me to walk you to the gate? I said, if you want to lose your legs. Like, she was just like,
for you.
Okay. And then, like, at that point, I guess when I was leaving, the guy that owned the property.
Yeah.
He was like, did you have fun?
No.
And I was just like, yeah, bye. And then, like, I ran and got in this car. And the guy that was driving, I forget, like, I got in the car and he was just like, what was this? what was this event? And I was like, a really crazy one. And I was like, just go.
And you told him the whole thing.
And then during the drive back, because he was like, I've never Ubered this far. He was like, crazy enough. I turned it on and I'm going to visit some friends in LA. So I was like, why not make some money on the way there? And I was like, yeah.
And what he
because it took forever to get an Uber, by the way. I tried to call one the night of and like
Palm Springs is the place to lose.
Well, I had to think of different ideas. I was like, okay, if you can't Uber from here back home, you might have to Uber from here to like a hotel or something in Palm Springs and then go from there.
You know what I was first told when I interned out here when going to senior year? This guy, I had a weird Airbnb situation. He goes, when you're out, be careful because you're out with 10 other serial killers statistically.
Yes.
In this city.
It gives off strong serial killer vibe.
Yeah.
There were so many other things that happened, like I remember like him and I were outside and I was like, wow, this view is like bananas. Like, how'd you guys find this place? He was like, do you believe in angels? And I was like, this motherfucker done got different as hell. Like, he was cool as hell when we was in LA. What happened?
Yeah.
I think that, you know.
What? Do you believe in angels?
But here's the funny part that I want to say, though. When you're in that state of mind of like, no fucks given, I think that's what saved my ass. I feel like that's what saved me because when they would say shit that was wild, I would come back with a punchline and they'd be like, she doesn't get it. This is a murder.
Absolutely.
She doesn't get that it's the end. I would be like, whoa, church.
That's so funny. Oh, yeah, you're going to fucking kill me?
I was like, not the attic. And they were like, what?
Yeah, let's all go in the attic.
I was like, you first. What's your name? Like, and she was just like, everyone was looking at me like, oh my God.
Wait, that's so you have to talk.
So
about
I was like
that's
being silly
incredible.
the whole time.
Wait,
and I was like, wait, we're not gonna have sex first? And they were all like, pfft.
I bet when you left, they put on their like sacrificial robes and they were like, fuck. They were like,
I think I fucked them up. Like,
yeah,
for a minute before I knew it was like serious, that's how I acted. When they were like, let's go to church, I was like, first time in a long time. They were like, oh my God. Like,
the ringleader's like, all right, no more stand-up comedians for the sacrifice.
Over me. So over me.
Wait, by
the time it got hostile, I was already too close to like hiding in the other back house. They had like a pool house or something. It was too late.
See, but this is what's so like the fact that we're alive is crazy because when you're especially you take these risks, right? Yes. Like I take these chances to go on dates or meet people or hang out with a friend I just met and barely knew, and I'm like, how do I know?
You don't.
Especially with my like sometimes I'm a little bit of a like I could be a little bit of a pushover or energy. If somebody asks me to do something, I feel like I need to do it.
I've been there.
So I'm like, I worry sometimes because I'm like, I'd be the easiest. Well, I was probably saying on the pod. But
I think for me, like, I was talking to my friend last night about it. I'm like, girl, we could have been dead so many times. Like I grew up not too far from where this happened. I'm from Illinois, so I'm from Milwaukee is literally around the corner.
Yeah.
So
we live near Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, partying like in the Midwest is huge because it's nothing really to do, and it's cold 6 months out of the year, so no one really does shit. Yeah. So like drinking is like the vibe. So me and my friends party, like especially college.
Oh,
we fucking turned up. I went to Illinois State, so like
the
amount of times I could have stumbled into some bullshit.
Campuses are so unsafe.
Yeah.
Our campus was really unsafe.
Yeah.
We had quite a few incidents.
Lots of it. Illinois is like that though.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I think that they don't report it enough, but like I have like on my Instagram, I have like the news for like Illinois.
Yeah.
And there's always a body in the river.
Oh, 100%.
There's never not. Like every week.
So campuses are like, we started signing a petition to get lights. And
that too.
Because we had we've had some incidences.
Where'd you go?
Indiana University.
Oh yeah, okay, you told me this. You did.
Yeah. And then the lights, we would petition to get lights in the corners of the campus because sometimes I would walk home from a late class or something. Like I did some night classes, or like
some of those too.
Or I walked from the bar because I was so drunk and stupid, and there was just pitch black.
I know.
Corners.
They started giving us like, what were they called? You guys probably had them too. Buddy system thingies.
Oh yeah.
Would be people that like you could call that just worked at, like as an RA.
Oh yeah.
And they would come and walk with you. It was fucking bonkers. The Midwest is wild.
The Midwest is wild.
So when I heard he was from there, because I don't remember. We were pretty young though.
I don't remember that. We were so young.
Yeah. I was like, I believe I was like grammar school, maybe even younger than
and
that.
we didn't have social media, so we didn't know. But the kids are knowing now with all the social media and stuff. Wait,
my concern is this isn't the first one. So I'm concerned that they glorify it too much, and it really triggers people to like get into some weird shit. Oh, just like it triggered me to be like, who was my murderer? Somebody is like, maybe I should be a murderer. Like, I hate that it's being glorified in that way.
It's because social media, it's scary what it's doing to the kids. Yeah. Today, my sister texts her family group text and says, is there a trend on TikTok? All these kids are bringing live frogs in and like harming them because it's a trend on TikTok. And in our group chat, I was like laughing first, and then I heard that they were like actually harming them. And I was like, oh wait, that's actually really twisted.
We've lost remorse and empathy with, I feel like, the internet.
The kids are not okay. Doesn't Dua Lipa say that in her song?
It was meant for it to be that way, but like we have, and I don't think it's purposely like everyone's just like, we're insane now. But like even for us as comics, if we look at, I'm sure you have at one point in your career, looked at another person's Instagram and was just like, holy shit, I'm not doing enough. Oh. Or my life isn't great enough. Yeah. Or this is happening. Everybody's triggered like that in different ways.
People are full-blown depressed from it. So this is something that I guess I'll just announce it on the pod or whatever. And I'm not giving up comedy by any means, but I'm applying to get my master's in psychology.
You should.
And I made it to an interview round for Antioch already.
100% congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm in that same boat, sister. Yeah. I work in, I never talk about it, but I work in social media, and I'm really into the digital world outside of comedy, and I'm really trying to further my career. Lately, I've been like trying to get on salary, and that's crazy. Yeah. Because I do this, but I think now, and I don't think that's a bad thing that you're doing that. I think now, honestly, the game has changed. The
game has changed. We talked about this in the green room a little bit.
No, it has. Yeah. When we were growing up, at least for me, I loved Eddie Murphy. Raw was like, as a little kid, I watched that and I was like, I don't know how to be that, but I'm going to try to do that. Right. And like, that was a different time. Yeah. Now we're in a time where like, you can't be a successful comedian just being a comedian.
No. It's not realistic. And then I'm also like, the other thing that drove me to want to do it, because I won't quit comedy. Like, here's the thing, like, it'll take me 4 years to complete all of it, especially with my field work hours and all of that. Right. And there's it's such a bridge between, like, a lot of comedians, like I said, with social media, they're depressed right now. And I feel like I'm on the phone, and I like, not that I enjoy it when people are sad, but I feel like I like talking to them, and I'm like,
or feeling like you're providing
something. Like I'm providing something. And then with our audiences, you can tell, like, when I connect with them full blown, I'm like, there's something going on. And I'm like, if I could just learn how to connect with people more and help people more, not only would that help my comedy, but it gives me another option in case I want to either bridge the two or get out.
I think that's good. And then, like, I think there should be more to us what we give back in society.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
And I think that that's necessary, because what I do feel like, even from watching the Dahmer series, I think a lot of us see things that are wrong and no one really says anything. Yeah. And this year, we lost so many comics.
That was the other thing. We have lost so many people to depression.
And nobody really, like, people kind of know, but we don't know how to approach it, and we're not sure how to get, Exactly. And then we say the same thing after it's over. I wish I was there more.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like,
so I think this is great.
I just feel like, especially too, like having a podcast where you like, I just want to, like, I feel like the majority of comedians are put on this planet to make people feel better, right? Yes. So if I can figure out a way to reach that, like, in the highest way that my brain can, like, that would be so cool. Yeah. So I'm like,
most comedians die poor.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You probably should go get that bag.
Is that grad school debt? And being a comedian that's about to take up.
Before whoever we love. Let's just go all the way back. Like, do you watch The Marvelous Miss Maisel?
I never watched. I find stand-up comedy shows hard to watch. But
this one is great.
Okay, I should watch it.
I'm not even a TV person. Yeah. My boyfriend watches more TV than me, and he was just like, you should watch this. And when I watched it, I literally was like, wow, this is where my decision came into being, like, push more on the other parts of your creativity. Yeah. Because paying attention to it, I'm like, this was 1960. Yeah. It's 2022 and we're still going through the same shit. Yeah. It just lets you know it doesn't change. And, like, for example, I forget his name. He was her mentor, and he's such a big deal in comedy. God damn it. Anyway, he's a big deal in comedy. White guy. He's major. He was helping her, and he was arrested all the time. He had a drinking problem. He didn't have a lot of money. He lived in motels, but he was famous as shit.
Isn't that so wild?
Killing arenas. He was sought after by every woman. He was so famous.
And he's broke.
I feel like
he was broke.
I need to know his name because I have to say it out loud.
Some of our comedians that are literally blowing the fuck up, they're broke as fuck.
And that's what I'm saying. Seeing that made me realize I'm gonna get his name. I have to. Lenny Bruce. And I was just like seeing that. I'm like, the game hasn't changed. We provide this like uplifting world for millions of people, and then we go back to our motel and eat ramen noodles. Like I can't.
Oh yeah, and semen damped sheets.
I'm
from
like,
the person before.
That's not what we want. And even when I watch, Dave Chappelle, and he's like one of my, I aspire to be someone that can make people laugh and things.
Love.
But when I watch him, I can see the stress. I can see the stress on that man on the stage. I'd be like, I don't know if I want to age off like that.
No.
He's great,
right?
But I can see the stress.
No, I understand.
And still at the level that he's at and the greatness that he's done, he's still getting torn down.
There's a lot of comedians who've reached what you would think is like top potential, and they don't seem
having a good time.
No.
I say this to people all the time. They go say something to me and I go, I don't know what's up there because I haven't gotten there yet. So I can't really say, but what I do know is they're not gonna take my mental state.
No, see, here's the thing though. There are a group of people that can differ from that though, right? Like us even having this conversation is a good sign because we say we do get up there, we still, I don't believe we'll put all of our eggs in that basket. We'll branch off and always do other things to help our sanity and our mind. I think sometimes people get stuck because
everything they want.
This is
and
all
I've been there. That's how I got this far.
Oh, same.
Shit.
Same. But or it's actually like they really have something going on up there. But I have full faith that if you're crushing it and you are.
Thank you.
Your videos are hilarious. You're a hilarious stand-up.
I love me some social media, so I'll be creating my ass off.
She's got the funniest videos. I feel like I'm hitting I'm like getting people on this pod that are just like right there, just like crushing it.
I hope so. My end goal is I've always wanted my own show, so
you'll have it.
I'm writing for myself and I audition like crazy. So I'm fingers crossed that that's the end goal for me because I've always loved Martin.
Yeah.
And so I want something like that. But
yeah, you will have it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you're going to have it.
Thank you. I hope so.
I promise.
But I mean, I feel like you can lose your fucking mind in this game.
Oh, you can lose
I'm not going to lose my mental state.
No.
A bitch is not going to get to the top and be crazy.
No, that's why we need to all work on too, like being there for one another. And
I've put in more effort doing that. Because I feel like we need to. I think it's so competitive in LA, though.
It's so funny because I'm like, let's start a comedian running club. Everybody's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
running? They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They hung over.
I'm on a comedian kickball team, no? With Steph
Totally. We probably could do that.
Jessica Michelle Singleton. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But I think as you get older and you mature in this business, of course, I think David Letterman didn't become exactly what he started as.
No, it's also,
and now there's
no time limit to it. Everybody's popping off at all different kinds of ages.
It's
so that's also kind of fun because you're like, oh, I don't need to be like, oh, they're popping off and then we're the same age. It's like, oh yeah, but then look at that. You don't know.
And it's also like if you've gone hiking before.
Yeah.
When you're climbing up that hike.
Yeah.
This is a good analogy. Like I thought about this the other day in a deep thinking. I was like, sometimes you're on this hike, right? And maybe you stop and you look around, or maybe you're tired.
Yeah.
And then someone passes you, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they're up the hike. And then all of a sudden you get your second win and now you're up the hike and you're like, holy shit, they're back there.
Yeah.
This is the way this game is always going to move.
Amen.
It is never, you're never, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's why it's not a competition. It's your choice on where you want to stop.
Yeah.
And how you want to breathe in the fresh air or take a break or however. It's the fucking hike is still there.
Agreed.
I was thinking that the other day on my hike. I was like, I passed this lady, and then I got to the middle, and then she passed me again, and then I passed her again. I'm like, that's kind of what we see with our peers.
I love
comedy,
that. Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
I'm out here with this knowledge.
Yeah, that's really great.
I'm out here with this knowledge.
Yeah, you are out here with this knowledge.
I made it through almost the murder, bitch. I better get I better have some kind of knowledge after that.
Hands down, favorite story still to this.
Crazy.
I honestly
crazy
glad that you were not sacrificed because you're too much of a gift and a talent to this
world. I was almost sacrificed. I think, and then I was thinking maybe they didn't sacrifice me because the girl that I found that's a comic probably found out I was a comic, and I don't think I was that small then.
When we get off air, we're finding this girl.
I gotta find her.
I think I have an idea actually of who it is. What if I was like,
She
because
was there.
I was at the same. No, I'm just kidding.
Because I was there too.
Yeah, because I was gonna tell you off air, but I.
Yeah, man, it was wild. It was wild shit.
Fatimah, you were literally. It's been so enjoyable, and
Thank
I
you.
literally love you. So
thank you for having me.
yeah.
I was glad you were gonna have me.
And I'm gonna see you soon.
We will see each other soon. We always do.
Yeah, I think I'm going
at the oddest moments.
At the oddest moments.
We do.
But the best times.
Best times.
Good energy. I always love it. It's always important to be around good energy. And you're the fucking
girl.
best.
And keep killing it too.
Yo, you keep killing it.
No, like it's let me tell you what I love about you. I feel like we met before, like at open mics early on.
Yeah.
But we weren't like close.
Yeah.
And then pandemic happened. And it was all these outside shows.
Yep.
And we kept being on the same lineups over and over again. And then it was like, oh, this is the group. And then to see you flourish, I'd be so excited. So
stop.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'd be so happy for you.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, well, I always know that I'm always me. Feels good to be free. Have the world at my feet. Everywhere I go, well, I always know that I'm always me. Oh, I wake up each morning and I know my truth, and I kind of like knowing when the sun comes through that I don't